Hey, how you doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Today we got an unboxing. Package just came today. Doing the unboxing today is one of my new favorites. One of my favorites, well actually one of my favorites from the end of last year. The Studies and Observations Group, Pentagon. Absolutely love this knife. Absolutely love it. I never had one of the old SOGs. I've only had good SOGs. I've never had a bad SOG, but I just got into SOGs. These XRs were my first SOGs. And all these are excellent knives. Every one of them. The Terminus, the TAC, the Vision, the Pentagon, the Seal, and the Kiku. They're all awesome. All of these are awesome. I've checked out all the manual SOGs, all the manual XRs, and I thought I would check out some of the assisted ones too. Even though I'm not an assisted person, I don't really carry assisted knives and stuff like that. I like manual knives. That's my preference. Why do I like manual knives? Because modern manual knives are easy to open one-handed, open and close them with one hand. That's the reason why. You can't do this with an assisted knife or a switchblade. That's the reason why I prefer modern manual knives over any assisted or any switchblade nowadays. That's my personal preference. I'm just letting you know. But I do still collect some autos and some assisteds. And the reason being is just that I just like to collect all sorts of stuff. And I like to try out different things. And so I think the only assisted knives I have in my collection are the cold steel assisted knives with the triad lock. I think those are the only ones. I should have brought those out for this, but they're buried. Those are buried deep in my safe, and I don't feel like looking for them. But maybe another time I'll bring them out and we'll do some comparisons with them. Let me see how we're going to open this. I guess we go from this side. Huh? I love my SOG Pentagon. This and the Vision are my two favorites out the new SOGs. But I do have a Kiku on the way. From everything I've heard about the Kiku, it's a pretty awesome knife. Even though it's just a little 3-inch blade. The Kiku XR. Okay, let's see what we got in here. This is the Flash AT. Flash AT. We're not gonna get into this one today. I'll do a video on this one another day. But you can see it came from SOG. And the one that we're gonna do a video, the one that I've been really wanting to see, is my Studies and Observations Group, designed by Studies and Observations Group, Seattle, Washington. Lifetime warranty. There it is there. I've been wanting to see this one for a while. Because I've been wanting to get both of the Kikus, and this is the other Kiku I'm getting. I really love the way that the Kiku fixed blade looks, but I'm not going to get that one. I just want the two folders. I have a lot of fixed blades and fixed blades I don't really carry, so so I don't need any more fixed blades. Sorry. I'm happy with the ones I have. Every once in a while I'll get something though, but I pretty much got all the fixed blades I want. Kiku Assisted S35VN black. The model number is KU3004 3004. Made in Taiwan. I got the specs over here. Let's close this up. We're going to save this one for another. Day. All right. I got the specs over here on this one. Close length 4.6 inches. Blade length 3.5 inches. Product family Kiku. Country of origin Taiwan. Opening mechanism Assisted. Packaging, presentation box, finish, black tie-nye. I think that's titanium nitrate. I think that's what tie-nye means. T-I-N-I. Blade steel type. S35VN. Hardness 59 to 60. Handle color green. Product weight 5.6 ounces. Blade thickness 0.12. Product type folding knife. Locking mechanism button lock. Belt clip type reversible. Low carry. Engravable, yes. Edge type straight. Blade shape Tonto. Handle material Linda Micarta. Those specs just came from the SOG website where I purchased this from. Okay. Undo the seal. Oh, that's beautiful. Nothing else in the box. Box just comes with the knife in it. Let's put this out the way. Brand new, straight from SOG. Why I get it straight from SOG? Because lots of times if you get things straight from SOG and use like discount codes and stuff like that, you can get things a lot cheaper than you will on eBay because SOG won't charge you tax. At least they don't charge me tax. I don't know, maybe if you're in Oregon or Wisconsin or whatever, because I think those are 2 states that they use. Maybe you have to pay tax in those places, but I'm not sure. I've never had to pay any tax for SOG, and like when you buy stuff on eBay, you always have to pay the tax. So lots of times buying stuff straight from SOG is a lot cheaper. And you know me, I like to save I work hard for my dollars. I like to save everyone I can. Looks like we got T6 torque screws for the fasteners. Stainless steel liners. And you got a lock on it like you do with the Hogs. Button lock. Pretty sure that's what that is. Oh no, maybe it locks the blade. Maybe it keeps you from opening it. Okay. Oh, okay. It locks it closed because it's an auto. I see. Depress it. Load it back up. See, there's the button. Let me see. I'm locking. I think I'm locking it. Let's see if I am. Yep. See, now I can't push on the blade. It won't let me extend the blade. Okay. With the thumb stud. Now I'm going to unlock it. Here we go. Well, this really snaps out there. It's a lot better than the cold steel one I have. The cold steel one I have, lots of times would get stuck. This one doesn't get stuck. This one works like a regular switchblade. Only you got to push on the thumb stud. Then the spring really takes over. You press that. Oh yeah. Well, this This plunge lock's a little bit different. I'm not exactly sure how this one works. Oh, I see. It works just like a regular plunge lock. It's just got a cover on this side. You can't see what's going on. When you look at it from this way, though, you can see it. This is nice. No side to side, no up and down at all. No side to side, no up and down at all. The blade thickness, well, they say it was 0.12. That's probably right. I think that's 3 millimeters. That's what about looks like. But you know what? On all the CRKT reproductions of their Brian ties, all those blades have a little bit thinner blades too. On this knife, though, being by SOG, it sort of makes sense because this will make it a better slicer. This is a real comfortable knife. It'd be good for cutting rope because the rope would stay in the center of the blade instead of sliding back and forth, so you wouldn't have to saw back and forth with it. It's a really nice looking blade. The tip is a thinner tip, though. It's like a regular, like a clip blade tip, sort of. It's not thick like a Tonto tip. So this blade, I wouldn't call it a pry bar blade at all. This looks like it's meant for cutting things. It's meant to be a blade that you use for, you know, blade centers perfectly. It's really nicely made. I love this micarta too. The micarta feels really nice on your hand. But for me, this knife is going to be a collector. Why? Because I just like manuals better. That's just me. But as far as like assisted knives, I like this one better than the cold steel one. The cold steel is called the Swift. And the first, and I remember I got the first batch. I got the first one from the when they first released them, and it didn't have any kind of lock on it. That's what made it different. It was like the first generation of them, and I snapped the spring in it. You know, I was playing with it. I played with it for like 3 days, and the spring snapped for the triad locking mechanism. And that's the only time I ever broke a triad lock. But the triad lock for the Swift, like with the Immortal, they use like a different type of triad. And instead of locking from the back spring, it locks from the side. And I don't think it's as strong as the ones that lock from the back spring. But I still have 2 Swifts, and I sent the other ones back to Cold Steel, and they sent me the 2 new ones with the locks in them. And I played with one of those for a while. You know, it never broke. So I don't know if it was the first generation that was kind of messed up with those, or what. But even so, though, you know, it didn't operate like this. This you just barely touch it, and it flies out. It's like, you gotta touch it right, though. Let me see if I can get it to fail. No, this spring is strong. This is like the Hogue spring for their switchblade. Yeah, this is like a auto. I think it's a legal auto, a legal switchblade. That's the way I would think of this, because instead of pushing a button, you just push the thumb stud just barely. And it operates like a switchblade. You know, the spring takes over, and it's got a real strong spring too. This is a really nice knife. No blade wobble at all. This is, you know, you've seen this. This is straight brand new from the factory, from SOG themselves. Studies and Observations Group. That's what they want to be called nowadays. Absolutely love it. Now, I don't know all the laws in my state, and I'm sort of wondering if this is a legal knife in my state. If anybody knows the answer to that, send me a kite and message me on the text for this video. But looks like it's got like 2 stainless steel liners. It's got one thick one and then a thinner outer one. And then it has the linen micarta, green linen micarta. It's like an OD green, sort of. I wonder why they did that like that. There must be a purpose for it. Probably has to do with the lock, I bet. I don't know. Can you guys see this? See what I'm talking about? It's got 2 full stainless steel liners on each side of the handle. And they're both blacked out with the titanium nitrate coating. I'm sure that's what they used. But this knife has no wobble, no nothing up and down. And usually autos and assisted knives, from my experience, except for the cold steel, the Swiss were tight. They usually have like a little bit of play in them. And usually the ones that have a play in them are usually the ones that last long because everything's not overly tight. And so the blade can move freely and doesn't put too much stress on the spring. So like if you get an old switchblade, old style switchblade, like the old Italians or the German switchblades or the Czechoslovakian switchblades, if you get one of those, or American switchblades too, you get one of those and you got a little bit of blade play side to side, that's okay. Even a little bit up and down sometimes, because depending on the type of lock that they use, like a lot of the old style locks, they don't self-adjust. So if somebody's owned it and they've used it, it's gonna have a little tick. It's just the way it's gonna be. Oh, this one, oh, that's right. See, I'm used to manuals where I can close it. If I push the button, I can close it. This one, you can't do that. Let me see if I can lock it open though, huh? Okay, does this work to lock it? No, you can still depress the button, so it doesn't do that. So it doesn't have nothing to do with locking it open. Very cool. I love this knife though. The handle is super comfortable. This is an extremely comfortable handle. It's a very nice knife. But if I was going into combat or having something tactical, I want a thicker blade. Why? Because you might have to use your blade as a pry bar in an emergency situation or something. And that's just one of the things I'd want my blade to be able to do. Even though I wouldn't do that unless it was an extreme emergency and I was willing to, to sacrifice my knife to do that. But I want to be able to do that if I have to. That's the reason why, for heavy duty tactical knives, I wish they would make the SR1 black, totally black, like this sort of. That's my only gripe about the SR1, the cold steel SR1s. I want a blacked out one. I want a DLC coated one with black G10 handle scales. This is nice. And it's just like the build quality, because they're using the same type of pivots. It's These new SOGs have really nice build quality. I'm really digging them. And I'm not an assisted knife person, but I like this knife. If I was going to carry an assisted knife or a switchblade or something like that, I'd want to carry something like this. Because it's technically not a switchblade. Because you have to push on the blade, on the thumb stud to open the blade. But it is assisted. Once you push on that thumb stud, the spring takes over and opens it up automatically. And it works very well. And this button lock on this one, there is no blade play at all. It's just like a very high-end button lock. That's one thing I noticed about button locks. It's like when you get the button lock knives, or let's say under $100 or so, usually they will always have a little bit of blade play up and down and side to side. Whereas like the high-end ones, like the Hogues and the Brian Ty and Friends, the ones I have anyway, there is no up and down. But there still might be a little bit of tick side to side though. This one doesn't have any tick side to side and no tick up and down. So I think the build quality on this is awesome. And everything feels nice and smooth. This is a very nice knife. These aren't cheap though. These are like $140 or something like that. I think I paid, because I got discounts, and I paid like I paid $134 for this at SOG. And that's no additional taxes, and shipping is free. Think about that. If you had bought this for $134 on eBay, sure it'd be cheaper than like the going price at $149 or something like that for these. But you would still have to pay taxes, which would probably be like $14. You know what I'm saying? And then most likely you wouldn't have, because most sellers on eBay have free shipping, but some charge for shipping too. But you would at least have to pay taxes, but it should be about like $114. I mean, $14, not $114. $14 on top of the the 134. I suggest if you want one of these, go to SOG. I always like to buy my SOG knives from SOG because of that. Because I know I can always get first quality stuff, because I know it's coming straight from SOG. And if you have any issues, like I had with my Pentagon the first time around, when I got my Pentagon, the blade was hitting the back spacer, because I bought a pair of Pentagons, and I had to send them both back, and they sent me back 2 perfect ones. But I bought them both from SOG, from Studies and Observation Group. So they have complete records of it and everything else like that. They just told me to send them back. And they sent me back perfect ones. They even sent me back another one that was with the engraving and everything on it, the same Stiletto. So, you know, I really like SOG. But they didn't handle their business as fast as Cold Steel, though. You know, it took them a little bit. It took like 3 months or something like that. Whereas at Cold Steel, I used to send stuff to Cold Steel, and I'd send it to them on Monday, and I'd have it back the following Monday or the following Tuesday. They handled stuff really quick. And if they didn't have what was in stock, they always call me and let me know what's going on and ask me what else I wanted that they could send me instead. Cold Steel's customer service was probably the best experience I ever had with a knife company. I sent something to Benchmade one time and it took them like 2 months. I never had anybody as fast as Cold Steel. That's one reason why I used to always like Cold Steel, because I like the customer service, and People were always cool when I called in and I had a problem with something. They were always talking to me about it, and they're really cool. Gotta do lock it. Yeah. This is nice. It feels like good quality. It feels like a real nice, good quality, solid knife. The weight of it is really nice. The grips are nice. The pocket clip doesn't get in the way. And I could tell that'd be a nice deep carry pocket clip. And then aha, that's what's in my pocket. That's what's in my pocket. Oh yeah, this pocket clip is awesome. Your knife totally hides away when it's in your pocket. Yeah, okay, what's in my pocket? My Hogue. My Harley Davidson Hogue X5. I told you I was going to carry this one. That's what I've been carrying now. Alright. That's the one with the 4-inch blade. All my Hogues, like X5s, are 4-inch blades. Absolutely love this knife though. This side says SOG Kiku Assisted. This side I think it's saying Kiku Knives CPM S35VN. And it has something in kanji. It's probably saying Kiku Knives. That's probably what the kanji says. I don't know the designer's full name, but he's from Japan, and he's known for his knife grinds, his blade grinds. And this blade grind is like pretty much like the same grind that he uses on a lot of his knives, especially the ones like the KT makes, like the fixed blades. They have the same grinds, just they're longer and they're bigger and they're wider and they're thicker. And I think they use Oz 8 steel on it, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. They might have an S35VN one too. But this knife feels really nice. Good blade steel, good blade. Decent thickness for a pocket knife. I would say it's like 3 millimeters. It's decent thickness. Absolutely like it. I can't wait to see what my other Kiku looks like. I have another Kiku come. I have the new short little fat Kiku. That's manual. And that one will be going in my EDC drawer. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's consistent. And if I put a little bit of oil on it, it'd probably even be faster. Because this is dry. Everything on the inside of it looks like it's made very nicely. Very nice. If you like assisted knives, I would highly recommend this one. And it's staying centered. SOG's making some really nice knives right now. If you bought SOG knives, from the old generations of SOG knives, I'm not talking about the new generations, the ones that they came out with last year. But if you bought the old SOG knives and didn't like them and don't want to try any of the new ones because you think they're going to be like those, stop thinking like that. These are high quality knives. The new SOG generation, the new XRs, the new assisted knives from SOG, I bet you're really nice. This is the first one I've seen. We're gonna do another video, and we'll talk about the other one that came today. This has jimping on the back of the blade. It's got a hollow ground tanto with a chisel ground tip. Nice wedge on the back of the blade, instead of being thick all the way to the tip like most tantos. So it got a harpoon wedge, sort of, like the Hogue. Jimping on the back of the blade. Nice big double thumb studs, so it's totally ambidextrous as far as the thumb studs are concerned. Even this is a right hand dominant type knife, the way the mechanism's set up. You can switch the pocket clip over to the other side. It has a slot and a hole for you, screw hole for the be switched over to the other side. Very deep carry pocket clip. If you're wearing black pants, nobody would notice that. Nice thumb studs. See those thumb studs? Absolutely love these scales. They're super comfortable, and the linen micarta feels really soft to my hand. I mean, it has a nice feel to it. And I know these are all, you know, different kinds of composites and stuff like that, but some things feel really plastic, and I don't really care for those. But like this feels nice. It feels really nice. I don't know what this feels like. It feels like it's made out of material. Like it's compressed or something. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I don't know how they make linen micarta. Maybe it is made out of linen. I don't know. But whatever it is, it feels really nice on your hand. I like G10 too. G10 is my other favorite one. G10 is really durable and strong. And I've gained a lot of confidence in G10 over the years, having the cold steel knives with no steel liners and just G10 handle scales. I've learned how strong G10 is. G10 is a good handle material for a pocket knife. And it doesn't have that plasticky feeling like Grivex or FRN or GRN, whatever. Polyamide, whatever, you know, all the different kinds of plastics, they feel like plastics. G10, I know it's like a type of a plastic, but it doesn't feel like plastic. It's something else, it's its own thing. Just like this linen micarta, it doesn't feel like G10, and it doesn't feel like Grivex or any of the other plastic handles. This feels like its own thing. It's like in between G10 and wood. I mean, it's like, it feels more natural. That's a good way to describe it. I think it feels more natural in my hand. I really like the way the micarta feels. I probably want to get more micarta knives now. I don't think, do I have any micarta knives? I might have one or two. I think my new Kiku, the Kiku I have coming in, it's a black micarta, I think. So I'll probably really like that. If it feels like this. This feels really nice in my hand. Absolutely love it. But it's assisted. See, I can't flip it. I can't flip it closed. That's what bugs me. Like you can a modern knife. You know, you can't do anything with this. But if you want something that feels like a switchblade, this is the closest thing you can get to a switch. If you live in an area where you're not allowed to have a switchblade, but you can have an assisted knife, this is awesome. This is awesome, if that's what you want. It is fun to play with like assisted knives or switchblades. It is fun to play with them. But me, myself, I like the manuals. I want to be able to do this. I love these. Thumb studs. Flipper. Lock. This is what I like. I like this better. I'm sorry, but I just do. And these are both the same price. No, actually this one's more. I'm sorry. I take it back. The Vision's the same price as this one. the Vision XR. And the Vision XR is a Tonto. And if I had a choice between this and the Vision, I would take the Vision. But I do love the way this one feels, though. I love this handle. I like the way it looks. It looks nice, too. The blade thickness is a little bit thinner than the Pentagon. Now, the way that you got to compare them is that you got to look at the stocks. Don't look at the blade, look at the stocks. I think the Pentagon's a little bit thicker. If this is a 3mm, the Pentagon would probably be like a 3.2 or 3.3mm. The blade lengths are the same. Now that's interesting, because the Pentagon's supposed to be a 3.5-inch blade, right? And this is supposed to be almost 4 inches, I think. Am I right? Or am I wrong? Blade length. Oh no, it says 3.5. I take it back. 3.5. And it is 3.5. And the Pentagon's a touch over 3.5. So the Pentagon's a little bit bigger. And I love the way that they did the Pentagon's tip, where they sharpened both sides of the tip. And I use that a lot. You'd be surprised how much you use the different things, the features of the blade I have, that you never thought you would use it. Absolutely love this one, though. I would call this a very nice looking knife, very high quality knife. And if you like assisted knives, this would probably be one of my first choices for assisted knife, out of the ones I've seen and owned. I like it better than the Swift. I like this better than the Swift. Even though the Swift may have a stronger lock or whatever and a thicker blade, this one just looks nicer, it feels nicer in my hand, and I've broken a Swift before, so I don't have a whole lot of faith in them. Because when they break, they break. They don't, you can't lock them open or anything. I like that. Absolutely like that. See, whereas with, like a lot of people worry about the Omega springs, but you got to remember, you got 2 Omega springs. And I've broken Omega springs before, but when you break them, you just usually break one of them, and the knife will still operate. You got plenty of time to go get another Omega spring and fix it. But I don't know what you do if you break a spring, because these only have probably 1 coil spring, I bet. I bet you it's probably a lot harder to break one of these springs, because I bet you they're thick. I haven't taken one of these apart, and I'm not going to, because this is going to be a total collector for me. So I want to leave it as stock as possible. But it is a beautiful knife. I think it's a beautiful knife. That's all I got to say. Absolutely love it. Even though I'm not an assisted knife person, I do love this one. This feels good in my hand. It looks good. It's high quality. No blade wobble or wiggle. It's put together right. It's obviously been machined right. The blade is perfectly straight. The grinds look good on the blade. They match each side from side to side. And the edge looks perfect. Let's see how sharp it is. Got any paper right here? Hold on. Okay. Oh yeah. That's the entire edge. Perfectly sharp. Perfectly sharp. Highly recommend it. I love it. Looks like it's a knife that would be a great pocket knife that would last you a lifetime. Looks very well made. SOG's doing it. They're making some really nice stuff. If you haven't really checked out any SOG stuff lately, you got to. SOG is making some really nice things. Love it. Alright, that's it for that. Hope everybody's doing fine, doing okay out there. I hear the checks might be on the way. Checks might be on the way. Peace out, Stiletto. Oh, still waiting on my cold stills. Still waiting on Midway to give me some cold stills. Peace out, Stiletto.